Hi, spots and cheap pops, ladies and gentlemen, Vladi Dadi, Silicon Steve Alley, and we're talking professional wrestling. We are back. Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa. What doesn't matter? We love all of our peeps. Vladi Dadi, the Von Erichs, they made their debut on national television, and Vladi Dadi, WCCW, had a very special place in your heart, mine as well, but particularly yours. And Vladi Dadi, what did you think of the Von Erichs debut on AEW television just over a week ago?
I got to tell you, I had very high expectations with the Von Erichs returning to Dallas, especially in lieu of the Iron Claw movie being released. And to me, it's just a big moment for the Von Erichs, for Dallas in general, and honestly, for AEW. Because you hear that name, it's a very traditional name in wrestling history. And AEW had a very good opportunity to do something here that would have been like very memorable. And let me just say what I would have done versus what they actually did. One of the executive producers for this movie, The Iron Claw, just happens to be MJF, your current world champion. And I believe on that show, he didn't even appear. Not sure of the reasoning. However, I would have moved hell and high water to make sure that he was there, personally. At the 9 o'clock hour, I would have had him come out. No mention of the devil. Nothing. This is MJF, the executive producer and world champion, the MC, if you will, and have him talk about what it was like working on the movie, being a part of it, and then introducing Kevin Von Erich and his two sons and bringing them to the ring. And basically, as he's standing there talking to him, you're going to feel that emotion, especially with probably one of the biggest names in professional wrestling standing across the ring from Kevin Von Erich, and feel that emotion from that Dallas crowd. And at some point in time, you basically, as he's putting him over left and right, and even putting over his sons to a certain extent, you have him mention to Kevin that he is currently now, the way things have worked out, one of the true patriarchs of professional wrestling. And at that moment, cue Christian's music. Christian comes out. He's with Killswitch, Nick Wayne. Now all of a sudden, he comes out because MJF had the audacity to use the term patriarch. So now you have the TNT champion, the world champion, the Von Erich boys, Kevin Von Erich, Nick Wayne, and Killswitch, all in the ring together, and it's tense, especially with Christian on the mic. So you had an opportunity to have Christian and MJF on the mic there. You're not really asking Kevin Von Erich to do much. And let me preface this by saying also, at one point you allow MJF to give Kevin Von Erich the microphone, say a few words, bring the crowd into it as well. Then he hits everybody with the patriarch line, and then we have Christian there. So then you have Christian who can't help himself, and all of a sudden he's looking to goad Kevin Von Erich with some sort of Fritz Von Erich comment about maybe not being the best father.
He could have went a lot of places. Let's be honest.
Exactly. So you have plenty to work with. What does Kevin and MJF feel, especially because I haven't seen the movie yet? What do they feel like would be appropriate? What's going to go and sting? And basically, where do you get that and draw that heat? Then all of a sudden, after that heat is drawn, only Christian could do it. Hey, you know what? You got some pushing and shoving. MJF saying, hey, you know what? Tony Khan gave me this time to go and put this movie over. I'm going to take this time, and we got a tag team match between Killswitch, Nick Wayne, and the Von Erich boys. You put MJF on the microphone with doing color with the Excalibur and company, continuously putting over the thing. He's overseeing the entire match. Christian's out there, and you know what? You put the Von Erich boys over, have them pin Nick Wayne. And at some point where Christian goes and decides to go and try to go and hit one of the Von Erich boys with his TNT title, Kevin Von Erich gets the opportunity and puts the Iron Claw on Christian's head in front of that crowd in Dallas. That place would have erupted. Okay? And what did we get instead? We got Kevin and his boys backstage with Renee Paquette, and all of a sudden, the comedy troupe comes out, and it's Orange Cassidy, Trent, question mark / exclamation point, or whatever punctuation mark he uses at this point, and Danhausen, who ironically...
It's just an emoji that makes no sense. It's just a emoji, you know, winky, idiot face emoji.
Yeah. And then they also have, and no disrespect to Danhausen, but they have the one guy on the roster who actually puts curses on people. Because we haven't heard the term curse of the Von Erichs. Nobody in production for AEW said, whoa, wait a second. Maybe we should think about this. And what they gave us instead was a match on Rampage between the Von Erich boys and Orange Cassidy against the ashes and remnants of Jericho's failed social experiment with Jake Hager, who's still feuding with people over a purple hat, Daddy Magic, and the one with the comb switchblade.
Maybe it wasn't the booking with Jack Swagger, by the way, folks. Just maybe. Wasn't the booking with Jack Swagger.
And that's what they gave us instead. So they had the time to go and book them, invite them, and this is what they had the audacity to go present them with. And this is just me. You had the opportunity, and because honestly, that would have been on ESPN, that would have been on all different wrestling circuits. You would have had probably even like WWE stars commenting like, hey, that was a hell of a segment for the Von Erichs. But instead, they made it a fucking joke. I'm sorry. And that's right there encapsulates what's wrong with AEW.
It was an indie finish. It was an indie finish. It was like, hey, these guys are showing up at the show. They have nothing to do with it. And if you ever seen an indie show, I remember I did an indie show with WXWC4. Rhino was the big guy that showed up out of nowhere, feuded with the top guy. He came in, did his shtick, and it was boom, over. Nothing really meant anything. That's how it felt, Vladi.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing. In Dallas, you got the Yellow Rose of Texas there, Kevin Von Erich, returning, and all anybody wanted to see him do was put on an iron claw on somebody that actually meant something. And he put it on Jake Hager, of all people. Jericho's bodyguard. That's who we got. It could have been Christian, of all people, and they would have torn the house down. Everybody would have went home happy. It would have been a nice spotlight for the Von Erich boys. And I'm not even saying, hey, you got to hire those guys. The verdict's still out for me with that, you know? But I'm just saying, to go and put the movie over, you go and basically give it credibility with MJF being there. And at the end, you know what? MJF, Kevin, and the boys all raising their hands, showing the Iron Claw, and just that place would have went nuts. Simple. But they gave us Rowan and Martin's comedy show to go and age myself. I mean, it was just garbage, really. Totally disappointing. And I don't understand how Tony Khan claims to be such a wrestling fan and a historian, and this is what he goes and puts on live TV like that. It was totally disappointing.
Thank you so much for watching High Spots and Cheap Pops. For Vladi Dadi, this is Silicon Steve Alley. Hit the subscribe button and let us know what you think. Thank you for watching, and here endeth the lesson.